So we're back continuing the second half of We Heal Nations. Today is the 5th of September already, folks. 2023, beautiful energies coming in. Very, very hot here in Montreal or at Montreal. I'm not in Montreal, I'm at Montreal. So we're going to continue again on the topic of St. Vincent's the agreement and how we can see clearly the spells on, well, if you can't see, I will help you to see. So basically, you really have to do the thinking and going inside and asking the questions. All I could do is assist you. That's my journey right now. I've done the work. I've done a lot of work. I'm not finished. I'm still doing work. However, I'm very clear on where we're at right now. So I'm just going to do the development part, and then I'm going to speak a little bit about an announcement that was made regarding the educational system. Okay? So let's see. Let's get back to this agreement regarding the development part of it. So this says Canada's development program is focused on shared priorities such as climate and economic resilience. What are you resilient to? What really it's the energy of ascension. So they're blocking that. Is that the real thing that's these words are telling you without telling you directly? Sustainable and inclusive governance. How is that? How do you do that if the people are not giving full disclosure at any point? Even still now, this was put on the website, but it's still just words, basically spells, spells, right? And advancing of gender equality. What gender? Your gender? Okay? Following the devastating gender equality, there's man and woman. We all know that. It's been like that for millions and millions of years before these people came. Man and woman. Matriarchal system. Collaboration was always there. But this is spelling to create something that benefits one side of people. And all of these people, Canada is very much connected to the CCP. And for you who don't know, CCP means Chinese Communist Party, which I spoke about the Taiwanese trade. That was what took over NAFTA, really. Because Taiwan is still part of China, just like Ukraine is still part of Russia, right? And all of it has to do with everything like the deception of a group of people over the majority of people, right? A small group of people wanting to be over the majority of people. They're all connected. So it says here, following the devastating 2017 hurricane season in the Caribbean, Canada announced 5-year, $100 million pledge for, so 5 years, 2017, right? It's past the 5 years. So $100 million pledge for Caribbean reconstruction and economic climate resilience. What does that mean? Economic climate resilience. It sounds like it meant to keep us economically down. Because if $100 million was pledged to do something, and everybody seems to be suffering in Jamaica, Trinidad, on the islands, I should say, of Trinidad, the same people are suffering. Okay? What exactly does this climate resilience mean? Economic and climate resilience mean? It's not referring to you, folks. It isn't. It's not referring to you. It isn't referring to you. All right? To support St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Right? Is that 100 million pledge for Caribbean reconstruction and economic climate resistant? resilience to support St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the region in reconstruction climate resilience. Reconstruction climate resilience. The climate of poverty. Reconstruction of that. Remembering the last program regarding Vincent, Victor, over your minds. Okay. The pledge was fulfilled in 2022. Really, was it? Can somebody collaborate and explain to me how that was done? It was fulfilled. So, everybody down there doing well then. Huh? And included support for the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency. Caribbean CDEMA. CDEMA. CDEMA Ball. Sorry. I couldn't help that one. It came to me. CDEMA Ball. Which provided natural disaster planning. So how could you have natural disaster planning? So you're planning a disaster. This is the English language. I'm just breaking it down exactly how it is. Natural disaster planning. You know what the equipments they have, right? And was the key to responding to the last severe eruptions of 2021. Now it makes sense. Remember there were some equipments down there before the eruption, right? There was a lot of booming and zooming and they had this big plan for geothermal and whatever. Nobody heard the results of that or what they found or whatever. Things were found too after the eruption. We didn't hear anything. Soils were moved. Debris was moved. Things were being moved off the island, etc., etc., etc. But the only thing I see happening is that there's another port of entry being built. Now, if it's not booming as they said it is supposed to be, as they claim, what is this new port of entry for? Is it for more documentings? I'm just asking questions. I'm not saying anything. Is it for more documentation? For docking your mentals? Okay, let's move on. The pledge was fulfilled. We did all that. This was in addition to the sufficient support that Canada provided to volcano readiness in over a dozen communities, support to improve emergency communications and shelter management. Oh Lordy, we saw a whole bunch of water tanks littering in an area that the people did not get to have stored clean water, and humanitarian assistance through our partners. Now, the thing that is going on with the stories coming out of Marin and all these other places where Louisiana, we found out people were being blocked from escaping. People were being murdered. Well, I shouldn't even say that. People were being blocked and disappeared and has no breathing. You know, what is that? Why is that happening? Does it have to do with those documents and creating estates or trust? What does it? You know, you gotta think about all these things. You know, I'm not saying it. They're telling you in plain sight right here. But you have to learn how to analyze these things for yourself, right? Who are these partners? Who these other and humanitarian assistance through other partners? Yeah, we know about the Red Cross. We're hearing about the Red Cross. Research them, please research the stories that are coming out. And then at CARICOM interseasonal meeting in February 2020, Canada announced an additional 61.5 million in new commitments for resilience, technical assistance, and education exchanges for the Caribbean. This includes, for example, the Canada CARICOM expert develop deployment mechanism. Who are they deploying? What kind of deploy mechanism is that? Which provides technical assistance to CARICOM governments, not to the people, including St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to help diversity and strengthen the economy. Ooh, we're still looking. You see anything? Okay. Build climate resilient communities and reduce gender and economic inequalities. It seems like the only thing I see they focus on is recently they had a queen show for transgender or whatever, somebody who thinks they're born with one gift and they think they have other gifts and they want to present themselves looking like the other gift. That's the only thing I see. So 61.5 million. I don't see any of the other things that they talk about. I don't see anything. So again, these are all spells. They're just beautiful words. And you know who's good at these words, right? I ain't mentioning nobody's name. Anyway, and reduce, yes. Canada also provided additional disaster risk insurance coverage. That's for them. Because you know what insurance means? They're creating trust. And they're using the estates of everybody, the state of everybody, to compile data and create a file and then now have it insured. And that will generate their billions, not millions, billions in insurance. They're ensuring that you are securing them to have this. Anyway, and that takes a deeper understanding or understanding of trust and trust properties and trust, how to operate trust and all of that. That takes a deeper understanding to be at the mindset. So everything now is accessible online. I've shared a lot of information. Research them. And even research some of the names of these things and look up the meanings. All right. I don't like. It's less than I say I have about 15 to 20 minutes left of this program. I don't like, it's like I'm going to read out this thing and I'm going to go on to an announcement regarding educational. So I don't have the time to go through all of it right now. Maybe in the future, if that's what you request. And however, I have to tell you, if you want to hear more information like this, please like and subscribe. YouTube channel We Heal Nations. Look for me on We Heal Nations. Look for me in YouTube. It's slow in coming, but the other medias too, because like I said, I am really the only one that's doing this. I don't have a team yet. I'm working on it. I do have a few people helping me out, but you know, we have to start from somewhere, and it would help a lot if you will share the information. Go on YouTube after this program, look for We Heal Nations. This program would be on it too, that you can listen back to it, and also keep as a file that you can go and listen to some of the things that I'm saying and where you can research and get information on how to better manage yourself going forward. So I had to plug that in because the only how we all can come together is to work together and share and build together. Each one teach one and reach one. So I'm trying to reach more and more people. I am reaching more and more people because it's reflecting. People are contacting me. But it would be beautiful if I have my beautiful lights actually go in and say, you know, something in the comments, because I don't close off the comments. I'm open to comments. I'm open to corrections. I'm open to whatever it is. And I'm willing to research if you have something that does not resonate with what I'm saying. But however, most of my work that I do, all my work that I do research the stuff first. So, you know, it's not something that I'm just pulling from the air. And I do get some guidance from my ancestors, as I tell you. All right? So, for example, the Canada CARICOM Export Deployment Mechanism, I spoke about that already. this resilience. I don't know who they want to be resilient to. I don't know who they want to put pressure on, because what is not happening naturally, you can't be resilient to. All you have to do is be prepared, is have knowledge. Really, not resilient, because they're really not talking about the weather. They're talking about us. Be resilient to us, to keep us in a certain state of mind. You know, read between the lines. Okay. So we spoke about their disaster risk insurance, because, like, if we work together, we can ensure that there's no risk to our people, because we know how to build, we know how to coordinate, we know how to organize. We are the real man and woman who live on the island. We know what we need. We know the type of boat we need. We know the type of structures we need. We know the type of everything we need. We don't need some kind of invisible entity or fictitious entity to do all of this. It's saying that we're helpless and we're happy to be your slave. So Canada's support further extends to regional engagements to strengthen national statistics. How are you strengthening national statistics for policy making, public financial management? Public. You know what the public is? The all caps name. You're private. Okay? Access to justice, private sector development, and building the capacity of local women's rights organization. Okay? Now, you, the woman and man on the island, the real live, living, breathing people, are responsible for protecting your woman and responsible for justice. You don't need to go and access justice. You are the law, and land, air, water resides in or lives in you. The land, the elements of the land, air, and water. Because look, you see how much water is coming off my face. I know you can't see on the radio, but you get my point, right? So all of this, again, are spells to bring you in a mindset that you have needs and they're the perfect ones to organize to get these things done. No. Nah. None all. All right. During the so-called COVID crisis, Canada donated 20,000 COVID vaccine dose to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Folks, by the way, I found a list of what they're expecting deaths in up to 2022, right? And those vaccines were to ensure that. Trust me when I say that, it was to ensure that. But funny enough, St. Vincent is not on the list of countries with the numbers. So let me just finish that, because it's almost finished, and then I'll mention a little bit about that. Then I'll go to that thing. So I'm going to end that there. The other things, they have the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives and all these nonsense talk. But the only person that gets funds is the people who come and do all these things, because they know what they're doing in playing with paper and legalese and all of these things. Okay? So it says, through a bilateral agreement, this is the vaccine was through a bilateral agreement, right? It has nothing to do with you, because you were not a part of that agreement. Did you ask for that stuff? No, you didn't. Did you say you need it? You're a natural person. You have a natural being. You have natural ways of cleaning yourself up and detoxing, right? And redirected programming. They said agreement and redirected programming to respond to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Caribbean needs, including to address gender-based violence. Okay? Include support and essential services, training, and technical assistance for health professionals, as well as supplies and protective equipment. All that is a part of their scam to get access more credits and get more stuff and blah, 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 blah. St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Canada also collaborate closely in key regional and multilateral, again, fora and institutions such as Caribbean Development Bank. Okay, so look at what all the things that suddenly happen to our fruits and our environment, that we cannot produce bananas, we cannot produce citrus fruits, because all around the world they wanted to change the citrus, because they know that limes and lemons are very important in our health. Yes. So all kind of bugs were created to put on those plants, and all these beings that come in claiming they're coming to help, they're coming to help destroy the environment. So let me go to first, that's the end of that. So let me go to first the I just mentioned. Let me see if I find that. Okay. Yeah, the list of this thing. So they have a list. The United Kingdom population is at 69 million 390,000 2017. The population is 14,517 age 60. I think that's the amount that they're expecting to go down. Oh, that's the amount that went like deceased, I guess, from 2017 till 2025. That's the amount they're expecting, which is 0.77.1 or something percent. And if for each, they have for each country here, they have the United States of America. I don't know if that includes certain, anyway, they have a whole bunch of them listed here. The United States of America, so it's 316 million total, all the United States of America, which they're expecting, their projection was to get rid of 99, right? Puerto Rico was 3,640,000. They're expected to get rid of 1.165. I can go on and on. I don't know if this is going to be still kept for YouTube or any of those things, but this is what they have here. And that's for the forecast by country, right? They have, by the way, they have Bahamas in there, 273,000 they're expecting out of 329,098. Wow, these islands are expecting a big. It'll be interesting to see. Let me see if I see Hawaii there. Malta, Italy, they're expecting a big, or a reduction. I'm wondering if it's a reduction to that amount, or it could be a reduction to that amount. But it would be a big reduction from the UK, from 63 million to 14. Okay, interesting. I'm just reading what I see, people. So yeah, Portugal, they're expecting from 10 to 8 something, 10.7 to 8.1. Norway 5 to 3.8. South Korea 48 to 37. I know I saw St. Lucia, Canada from 35 to 26. I know I saw St. Lucia, New Zealand from 4 to 3. Oh, here it is. St. Lucia, 162,781 to go down to 127,000. Wow. I don't see St. Vincent here. I think I saw Trinidad. Hold on. Denmark, Australia. I'm looking for the little tiny islands. Oh, Lord help us. I see Angola from 29 to 19. So a whole 10 million there. Japan from 127 to 103. Yeah, very interesting. I just want to saw Trinidad. I don't know how come I don't see it now. Yeah. They have Spain from 47 to 27. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Folks, this is very interesting for me. So now I'm going to go to the announcement. The commander-in-chief.
Than any other country in the world, and yet we get the worst outcomes. We're at the bottom of every list. In total, American society pours more than $1 trillion a year into public education systems. But instead of being at the top of the list, we are literally right smack, guess what, at the bottom. Rather than indoctrinating young people with inappropriate racial, sexual, and political material, which is what we're doing now, our schools must be totally refocused to prepare our children to succeed in the world of work and in life and the world of keeping our country strong, so they can grow up to be happy, prosperous, and independent citizens. We owe our children great schools that lead to great jobs and leads to an even greater country than we're living in right now. Right now, we're living in a failing nation because of Joe Biden and these people running it. They're Marxists, they're communists. What they're doing to our country is incredible, but we'll take care of that for our children. Here are 10 key ideas that will power our movement for great schools. First, we will respect the right of parents to control the education of their children. Second, we will empower parents and local school board to hire and reward great principals and teachers, and also to fire the poor ones, the one whose performance is unsatisfactory. They will be fired. Like on The Apprentice, you're fired. Third, we will ensure our classrooms are focused not on political indoctrination, but on teaching the knowledge and skills needed to succeed. Reading, writing, math, science, arithmetic, and other truly useful subjects. Fourth, we will teach students to love their country, not to hate their country like they're taught right now. Fifth, we will support bringing back prayer to our schools. Sixth, we will achieve schools that are safe, secure, and drug-free, with immediate expulsion for any student who harms a teacher or another student. Seventh, we will give all parents the right to choose another school for their children if they want. It's called school choice. Eighth, we will ensure students have access to project-based learning experiences inside the classroom to help train them for meaningful work outside the classroom. Ninth, we will strive to give all students access to internships and work experiences that can set them on a path to their first job. They're going to be very, very successful. I want them to be more successful than Trump. Let them go out and be more successful. I will be the happiest person in the world. But we want our children to have a great life and be successful. And 10th, we will ensure that all schools provide excellent jobs and career counseling so that high school and college students can get a head start on jobs and careers best suited to their God-given talents. This is how we will ensure a great education for every American child. And one other thing I'll be doing very early in the administration is closing up the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., and sending all education and education work and needs back to the states. We want them to run the education of our children because they'll do a much better job of it. You can't do worse. We spend more money per pupil by 3 times than any other nation, and yet we're absolutely at the bottom. We're one of the worst. So you can't do worse. We're going to end education coming out of Washington, D.C. We're going to close it up, all those buildings all over the place, and you have people that in many cases hate our children. We're going to send it all back to the states. Thank you very much.
And so it is. And so it is, folks. Yeah, I agree 100%. The state being the community, the real people, the man and woman. That's what it means. Right now, everything is being controlled by entities that you don't know. All those organizations and those things that are created, that's who's controlling it. And as I'm directing this to the islands, and in particular St. Vincent, I encourage the Garifuna people or organization or community, because we're all the same, right? We're all souls having an experience. We had different experiences, as whether as inherited the struggles of Garifuna movement, all of that, the language, those are experiences. So I will encourage you to get together and create your own learning centers or your own learning affiliations or associations with other communities, and have you can have a stationary place if you want, but there's going to be things open up for you to access the funding, because the funding comes when all of this is done, as he says, because he's not going to let the politics control the minds of the students. So it's the people. If you need to understand that that's what he's trying to do. That's what, not trying, that's what is going to be done. We're going back to our old ways. For us, the organic people that is listed in the let's say Library of Congress, all those things were listed as the Indians, West Indians, the original organic people. We are not black, colored, Negro, etc. We are not Caribs. We're not this and that. Under the Indians, there are many tribes, like over 100 or 100, not 100, 500. They did do that, but however, they put it that it's a different set of people and took away our, usurped us basically on the land and make us appear that we are not from this land. But many of us, yes, there's some who are not from this land. But the thing is, the original organic people of the Americas were always here. And many of us, our ancestors who are returning, we're back here, just waking up, they were forced into labor on their own land and then was labeled slave, right? So this is very important. And with that, I'd like to say good evening and have a great one from We Heal Nations. Love you. Keep it up. Keep uplifting yourself. Uplift another one and another and another and so on. Each one teach one, people. Peace and love. Have a wonderful day.